Coming to you direct from Silencer Shop Studios, home of the Glass Case of Emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
Warning, warning, warning. If you are easily offended, if you have a very fragile ego, you might not want to listen to today's show. If you like to make excuses, if excuses are your best friend, you might not want to listen to today's show. You're making weird faces over there. What you're making?
I was holding in a fart.
Really? I don't think you can say that on the radio.
I can, and I just
really.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I wasn't actually doing that.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's
because I would just let it go.
I don't even know what to say.
You're welcome.
I'm just going to drink water.
Yeah, well, you said that if they're going to be offended, then they shouldn't be listening to this. So
that's true. If excuses are your best friend, and you're easily offended, you should probably just go find an NPR show right now that will tell you everything that you want to hear. There you go. All right. No, actually, today we're going to talk about hardening up. You might want to harden up. And I am doing the knife hand toward the microphone, even though you can't see it. Yeah, that's one of my favorite things when people say, you know, you shouldn't point fingers, because when you point fingers, you point a finger, there's four pointing back at you. And it's like, there's never one pointing back at me. Never. So. You know what I've decided? Actually, I've decided that I'm going to start doing community service. What? Yeah. Well, yeah, I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about a community service project. And I've decided that at least, one time a week, I need to take myself and I need to go into a Starbucks coffee house and just spend some time there so that both the staff and the customers will get the opportunity to see what an actual man looks like.
Yeah, you can fill the room up with testosterone
yes,
and then leave.
I will spread my testosterone around the Starbucks coffee shop so that at very least the staff and the customers will have the opportunity once per week to see what an actual man looks like.
You know, they
see and smell an actual man.
They already get that.
Oh, what?
Because I go at least once a week.
Oh, do you? Do you go? Do you actually go inside? Or you
I
drive
mobile
through?
order so I can walk in, pick it up, and then leave.
Oh,
I don't have to wait in line.
Yeah, but you're not giving them very much time, though.
I don't have to get coffee to wait in line for coffee.
Yeah, but you're not giving them much time to observe.
Oh yeah,
and to see and experience what an actual man looks like. So,
I guess
but anyway, I was thinking that might be my community service project.
Yeah, I guess sometimes I do go there and I actually sit down at the chair or one of the couches and
super uncomfortable, purposely, deliberately uncomfortable chairs.
Yeah, well, they have comfortable ones in a little corner.
Yeah, they have. Well, they have a couple of cushy chairs there, and then the ones at the tables though are deliberately built to be uncomfortable.
With the other. Like in the corner table, they have padded chairs.
You know who started that? The deliberately uncomfortable booths and chairs? I'll tell you. McDonald's. Probably 30 years ago.
Huh.
And you're like, that sounds like an urban legend to me. No, actually, it is true. They designed them to be comfortable for about 10 to 15 minutes. Why do you ever see people sit in a McDonald's booth for more than 10, 15 minutes? If you ever watch them, they scoot around constantly. They move sideways and they turn their bodies and they lift their legs up and you know why that is? That they absolutely designed them to be uncomfortable.
You know how you solve that problem?
What's that?
You get a stadium seat that has memory foam.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
The chairs in the Target, I don't go there anymore, but when I used to, there's a Starbucks in the Target, and Those are deliberately uncomfortable. All right, who's with me? Listen up. How many of you have flown in and out of Las Vegas? You have. I have. How many of you have ever sat in the aluminum chairs on at the gates? Not at the gates, but in the kind of the communal area by the restaurants. They're so uncomfortable that literally my back was hurting less than 5 minutes into it. Because they're made there. They don't want you to stay there. They want you to sit, gobble down your food, and get up and go. They want a fast turnover, and they do the exact same thing at Starbucks with those chairs. They build them deliberately uncomfortable so that you'll only sit there for 10 to 15 minutes, and then your back will hurt so much that you'll have to get up and leave. Yes, sir. That's exactly what I thought about. I thought about taking one of those cushion stadium things in and sitting on it. I got you figured out there, Duna. I don't even know how we took that hard left turn there. Community service. Community service, harden up, all that good stuff. Like you've got something else you need to do. Shut up. Give me 10 more minutes. Yes, 10 more minutes. I don't know. Bump it up. Bump it up. Bump it up. Maybe we should do motivational music.
I'm actually going to go to fontanasports.com/SOTG right now, and I'm going to type in stadium seat.
Oh, are you really?
Yeah.
Good for you. You do it.
So
you're an American.
Oh, there is trail seat, camping seat.
Oh, yeah.
Therma rest.
Trail seat, camping seat.
It's there. And I can even save 10%.
They fold up?
Because of where I went. No, it looks like air. Like you blow air.
It looks like air? You mean it's inflatable? Yeah. He said, ladies and gentlemen, he just said it looks like air. Yeah, he did.
There's also a luxury ultralight cot.
I don't think you want to take a cot into Starbucks.
No, but there is a Thermarest Trekker Chair 20.
And
that is...
And it folds up.
Yes.
Right, okay.
But this one that I was looking at is just a self-inflating seat cushion.
There
Doesn't have a back, just the seat cushion.
There you go. Very good, very good. Now, if you hippies out there would like to take advantage of stuff like self-inflating seat cushions, you can go to fontanasports.com/SOTG until October 12th, and you can save 10% off your total order. You are welcome. And in addition to being welcome, you should know that Crossbreed Holsters makes the most comfortable in-the-waistband holster you could possibly ever buy. I actually have to check myself right now. That's the only, if there's a downside to the Super Tuck Deluxe, it's that it's so comfortable that you literally sit there and you think, am I wearing my gun? Like, oh, yeah, there it is. It's so comfortable, I can't even feel it. You're like, that can't be possible, because I've worn waistband holsters, and I always know because it's digging into my side, and I always have a red mark. Well, that's because you're not wearing the most comfortable inside the waistband holster you're ever going to wear. So you're wearing a cheap knockoff or something else. So go to crossbreedholsters.com, and they're going to help you out. They're going to help you carry a gun, be an armed citizen. Frog Lube, it's green, minty fresh. It's a bio-based firearms lubricant, and you can get it from Brownells, or you can get it from froglube.com. I don't care where you get it. You're an American. Do what you want. If you want to put it on your kettle drums, do it. I don't care. I wouldn't recommend putting it on your kettle bells because you might drop them. But kettle drums, you definitely can do that. Or your steel drums. I'm sorry, your steel drums down there in Jamaica, man. Century Arms, the sweetest smelling arms maker in the U.S. That's a true story, by the way, in the U.S. of A. Do you know that true story, right? Like Larry told me. He said there was they were selling you can buy it in bulk, like gallon jugs. Frog Lube, you can.
Yeah. And
they were shipping these gallon jugs overseas. They're shipping them, and they couldn't figure out why, because it wasn't going to. It was like, it's just lube. It's not guns, and
Yeah.
So you can send it anywhere in the world, but they're like, there's no possible way that where this is going, that they're putting it on guns, because they're like disarmed tax slaves. And he found out. They contacted him. They said, just we're glad that you're buying it. Thumbs up. And they said, no, they're putting it on their steel drums. They're using it to coat the steel drums so they don't rust.
That's funny.
Like, drive on, brother. Drive on. You can put frog lube on your Century Arms gun, your C39, V2, micro, pistol, whatever. I don't care. You're an American. Do what you want. And lastly, but not leastly, if you've got an ugly gun or just a plain black gun or a plain brown gun or just a plain Jane gun and you want to make it look nice again, go to Duracoat. You can get Duracoat at Brownells, or you can just go to LauerWeaponry.com, get yourself a Student of the Gun gun tat, and go crazy. All right, that's it. Time to get ourselves a moving.
Physically fit, physically fit, physically, physically, physically fit, woman, physically fit, physically fit, physically, physically, physically fit, woman, nice, sweet, fantastic, big ship on the ocean at the big Titanic, woman, nice, sweet, energetic, big ship on the ocean at the big Titanic, woman, nice, sweet, fantastic, big ship on the ocean at the big Titanic, woman, nice, sweet, fantastic, big ship on the ocean at the big Titanic, woman, I like to move it, I like to.
As I promised you guys last week, I'm going to talk about how getting fit takes time. And what I want to address is that acquiring fitness actually takes longer than acquiring a skill. You can acquire a skill quicker than you can acquire fitness. You get these people that they'll go to training classes and they don't care about their fitness level. They just want to get the skill, that they want to be able to shoot a gun to the best of their ability, which is great. But like I said last week, you still need to focus on your fitness. And I'm not trying to give anybody a reason to procrastinate on getting training. All I'm saying is that start now with your fitness. Put that up higher on your priority list, because it's not going to happen overnight. There is no easy button with fitness or getting fit. It just takes time, effort, hard work, to be honest with you. And it's just a compilation of a bunch of small, good choices, and it leads all into one outcome.
You lost me on hard work.
Yeah. I probably lost a few.
I just want to take a pill.
Yeah.
You're like, you guys have SWAT drill, not like it's a supplement. It's a dietary supplement. If you word of caution, you can't take 9 SWAT Fuel 9 mil and then go sit on the couch and play video games. Literally, someone like, I tried that stuff and it didn't work. Like, well, what did you do? Well, I didn't do anything. I just took it. What? It's like, what physical activity did you engage in?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't. Okay. Well, all right then. Moving on to the next topic. Oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy. But you know, the body and the mind go hand in hand. And it's actually your mind that disciplines your body to do what you need to do. But once your body is healthy, if you have a healthy body, it supports a healthy brain. You know that your body is a life support system for your brain, right?
Yeah.
Do you guys understand that? That's how that works. The brain needs like oxygenated blood. The brain needs nutrition. You need to take in nutrition and oxygenated blood and all that stuff, and it makes the brain function better. What?
And that's one of the most important
You're
things.
Crazy.
When it comes to fitness is nutrition. And that's a lot of people overlook it. They're like, I'm just going to go to the gym and work out for 5 hours and then not eat on a regular schedule every day because I just eat when I feel hungry. And then by that time, my body is already starving. So
it thinks it's never going to be fed again.
Just eat small portions about every 3 to 4 hours and you'll be good.
Well, I forget who was it. Someone said like, I was talking to James. This is a long time ago, but someone said, he goes, well, what's your diet? What do you do? And he said, I just, do this or that. And they're like, well, that doesn't sound like a very good diet. And he said, tell you what, go to the gym 5 times a week and you can eat anything you want.
Yep.
Well, I don't have time to do that. Well, there you go. You lose weight at the table and you gain muscle at the gym. There you go. All right. Let's. We're going to dovetail into that a little bit, but first I'm going to sip some water and let somebody else talk.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a free training video series called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. We want you to have access to this life-saving information. Get instant access now at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of those questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
You know, I think it hurts having a woman telling them that they're wrong and they need to fix themselves. I think it hurts some people's fragile little feelings.
Aww.
Yeah, it hurts some of their
cute.
fragile little feelings. All right, let's go back to the Patriot Fire Team Manual, the Patriot Fire Team Manual. And Chapter 3 of the Patriot Fire Team Manual goes a little bit something like this. The most important element is you. I know it's crazy, but I'm going to tell you the truth here, folks. It doesn't matter how many guns and magazines and various accoutrements you own, possess, buy online, have shipped to your house, store in your closet. If you can't, make it the first mile, if you can't make it to lunch without taking a nap, and I know you guys probably are tired of hearing it, but seriously, if you can't make it up a single flight of stairs without taking a break, a $3,000 AR and a tricked out $2,000 G-Wiz, 1911 or whatever, it's not going to help you a whole lot because you are the number one component in your survival situation. You, your body, and your brain are the number one components to success. Yes, I know, but I just want to be able to go online to Amazon and buy success. I want to be able to buy it. You can't. You can pay for it, but you pay for it in different ways. And in the Patriot Fire Team Manual, I use a little bit of adult language. And has anybody asked for a refund yet, Jared, on the book because they got really super offended and it hurt their widow feelings?
Nope, not yet.
No. Page 40-something didn't hurt their widow feelings. But you need to harden up. We're first going to talk about hardening up the mind. You're like, harden up my mind? I don't want my mind to be hard. I want it to be soft. No. Harden up your mind. Number one, educate yourself. Deliberately, purposely, on purpose, take the time to increase and expand your knowledge base. And we do that constantly here. If you're listening to the sound of my voice right now, and I just said increase your knowledge base, and you say, I don't know how, this is the first I've heard of it, well, welcome to the party, and I don't know where you've been, but I'm going to tell you this. We have an entire Patriot bookshelf loaded, just chock full of books recommended reading. Yes, actual reading. One of the ways that you strengthen and stimulate your mind is to read. Actual, no kidding, physical, holding dead tree in your hand, left to right, top to bottom, reading. And I don't care how busy your schedule is. Do not tell me that you don't have the time to read. You may not have the desire, and you may be looking for an excuse, but you have the time. You could, all right, like I said with the phone thing, I know the phone isn't dead tree, but literally, do you crap? Do you or don't you? You might not. You might be like Kim Jong-un, and you don't have an anus, and you have no need to defecate. But the rest of the world does. I can almost guarantee you've got 10 to 15 minutes on the toilet a day. I know this may seem like toilet humor to you, and it's offensive, and go ahead and get online and write me how offended you were. But the fact of the matter is, I'm pretty sure that every one of you has at least 10 minutes. You're like, that's when I do Candy Crush. My potty time is when I do Candy Crush, or I work on my Farmville. Do people still do that? Hey, Facebookers, do you still do Farmville or Animal Farm or maybe whatever? Maybe Farmville is Animal Farm. Did you ever think of that? I don't know. The fact of the matter is it's all about priorities. Everything in your life is about priorities. And if you wanted to, you would do it. The same goes with exercise. It goes with fitness. If you wanted to read, you could do it. So don't tell me you can't. Harden up your mind, not only through your own self-study, you harden up your mind through education, through attending actual, real training. Yes, I know that takes time and money and effort. But are you worth it? Yes or no? Okay. Harden up your mind by disciplining yourself. And I've got a real easy one for you. If you've decided that, yes, I do need to read more, pick a book. I don't care what the book is. I don't care how long it is. I don't even care what the subject matter is. Tell yourself, I'm going to read 5 times a week, a minimum of 15 minutes a day. I don't care what it is. And then make yourself do that. Make yourself do that thing. Stop accepting excuses from yourself and discipline your mind to do what you said you were going to do. See how that works? I know it's crazy, right? I don't expect you to become a monk. I don't expect you to climb up onto a mountain and sit under a waterfall. I don't expect any of that from you. But what I'm telling you is, if you want to be a member of the Patriot Fire Team, even if you don't, how about you want to be a healthy, productive member of society? What? A healthy, productive member of society? That's not my responsibility. That's the government's job. They're supposed to take care of me cradle to grave, no matter how inept and stupid and moronic I am. They have to make all my boo-boos go away. Yeah, I know. That's what many of your friends and neighbors think, that it's somebody else's job to make all their boo-boos go away. Now, when it comes to hardening up physically, as Jared said, getting fit takes time. And when it comes to the Patriot Fire Team, you remember yesterday we talked about boots and gear and so forth. This is when you take the stuff that you purchased. I know, you bought stuff, right? You're like, hell yeah, I bought stuff. My wife's not too happy, but I bought stuff. I have an entire closet full of end-of-the-world gear. Okay, great, rock on. You have a pack? Yep, got a pack. Got a bug-out bag right there. It's got everything in it. Everything. It has everything in it. Okay. What else you got? I got a plate carrier. I got plates. I got magazines. I got this. I got that. I got everything. Okay, good. You got all the stuff. Put it on. What? No, it's not a disaster now. I mean, no. Go get your boots. Get your clothing. Get your gear. Put it on. Lace up your boots. Put on your comfortable socks like we talked about. Put on whatever clothing. Well, first you got to put your clothing on, then you put your boots on, whatever. Get your bag. Get your favorite rifle, whatever your end-of-the-world rifle is. Get your pack. And take your butt out to the field. If you live in the city, if you live like a large metropolitan area, when the zombie apocalypse comes, you're screwed. So, sorry. But let's say you say, well, I can't walk around with a rifle because people will call the police. And hell, if I walk around with an umbrella in Boston, they'll call the police. Yeah, I know. Oh, or Connecticut. I think it was Connecticut. Yeah, whatever. Same thing. People are yelling at their radio. Put that pack on. Put on your boots. Put on that pack. And go for a walk. Walk for a mile. Walk for 2 miles. You got a range? You got your favorite range? Yes, I do. I have an absolute favorite range, and I go there and I shoot my gun. All right? Put on your plate carrier. Take your rifle. Load up all your magazines, everything, all the end-of-the-world gear. Put it on, and take your butt out to the range. And stay out there. Well, I think I can give you 30 minutes, Paul, but that's it. No. End-of-the-world disasters are not 30-minute affairs, brother. No. You take the day, you show up in the morning, and you stay out there. Yeah. You're like, well, that crap's heavy. Yeah, I know that crap's heavy. Guess what? That crap's not going to carry itself. I don't think. Do any of you out there in the audience have paid pack bearers or gun bearers? You hand the little Indage your crap, and he carries it for you while you walk around with your walking stick and your khaki shorts. No. When it comes to the end of the world disaster zombie apocalypse, all that super G-Whiz gear is only good if you can carry it. If you can take it from place A to place B. Yeah, no kidding. Harden up mentally, harden up physically. And if you're going to take a class, if you're going to take a rifle class, a pistol class, or whatever, put your gear on. Wear your gear. Make yourself wear your gear during class. Even if it's only a pistol class, make yourself wear your plate carrier. If it's a rifle class, great. Make yourself wear your plate carrier. If it's not a plate carrier, if it's regular armor, it's just a load-bearing vest, I don't care, whatever. Make yourself wear that stuff. I know that you probably got it, you opened it, took it out of the package, and you played dress-up in front of the mirror, but I want you to actually put it on. And when you do that, here's the tremendous benefit that you get. If there's an issue with your gear, if the trousers that you've chosen to wear, if they bind up in the crotch or if they bind up in the knees or what have you, if you're going to have, or they're uncomfortable or whatever, you'll find that out before the disaster, before the apocalypse, before the whatever. You want to find, are your boots comfortable or uncomfortable? And you might realize that the boots that you thought were great are not. You want to find that out in training, in practice. You don't want to find that out in the real world. So that's when you find that stuff out. And how many of you out there, I know there's a few of you, I'm hoping not many, but went online and you bought the End of the World Survival Pack because you saw an ad for it. And it's the super cool G-Whiz bug out bag, and it's full of stuff. It's got 157 items, right? And when they say 157 items, they count each Band-Aid as an item, each safety pin as an item, stuff like that. You bought it, you took it out of the box, you held it up, looked at it, hugged it, told yourself how great you were for buying it, you put it in the closet. How many of you have actually opened it up and taken the stuff out of the cellophane plastic wrap? Or is everything in your super cool bug out End of the World kit still in the original factory packaging? I'm not telling you to open up all your pressure dressings, but what I'm telling you is if all that super cool G-Whiz stuff is still packed up in shrink wrap, you might want to take it out and look at it and see what you actually have. See if it'll work. I don't know. That's just my advice to you. My advice to you, America, Mr. and Mrs. America, is this. It's time to harden up, both physically and mentally. All right, let's talk about, speaking of hardware and hardware-related issues, I'm going to start making you do the drum roll. Is your mic on?
Now it is.
Now it is. Boom. All right. Brownell's Bullet Points, brought to you by, Brownell's, duh. Brownells.com. And this week we're going to talk about buying a scope or an optic. Before you go out and buy one, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. You got a rifle. I don't care what kind of rifle it is. Bolt action, pump action, single shot, semi-automatic. I don't care. What do you plan to do with that rifle? I'm going to hunt. Okay. What are you going to hunt? Where are you going to hunt? Now, in Ohio, you can't hunt with rifles. You can't hunt deer with rifles, but you can hunt other things with rifles. Mississippi, you can hunt deer with rifles, but Mississippi it has swamps and it has hills and it has pine forests and so forth. There are no big plains out here. Now, you might be able to get a 200-yard shot across a hayfield or something in northern Mississippi, but it's going to be rare. It's going to be rare. Most of your shots at deer are going to be within 100 yards, easy. Same thing, Ohio, where I used to live. Most people would put up deer stands, and if they shot at a deer more than 50 yards away, it was a long shot, right? So before you buy a scope, before you buy an optic, you tell yourself, what am I going to do with this gun? Now, you might say, I'm going to compete at the Grand Nationals and I'm going to shoot 1,000 yards. Rock on, dude. If that is the case, then you're going to want, obviously, a high-end, expensive, magnified optic, right? I want to be able to cut the X out of a target at 1,000 yards. If that is your quest, drive on. You're probably not going to want an Aimpoint T1 red dot for that, will you? No. But unless you're going to shoot long distances, and you say, well, I'm going to shoot antelope, I'm going to go out west, and a shot on an antelope averages 200 to 300 yards. Okay, great. You're probably going to want a 10-power scope. But if you're not going to do that, don't buy something you don't need, because quite frankly, if you overpower your scope, it's going to hinder you. Now, we during season 6 of Student of the Gun, we did an entire segment about being a rifleman, and we talked about optics and glass and scopes and so forth. And I will tell you this. I always endorse quality gear. I will always endorse quality gear. But I don't want you to go out and spend money on something that you don't need. If the longest shot you're ever going to take on a whitetail or a pig or whatever is 102 yards because you're hunting in thick woods, brothers and sisters, you do not need a variable power 3.5 by 12 scope. You don't. You might want one, but you don't really need it. You're probably better off with a lower power scope. Do you need a variable powered optic? Do you have to have a variable powered optic? Well, the answer is no, you don't have to have one. Our troops, the USMC, Marines, have been sending Hodge home to meet his virgins or Allah or whatever with 4-power fixed scopes, fixed 4 powers. I'm talking about the ACOG, of course. They've been doing a fantastic job sending Hodge to meet his maker with fixed 4-power scopes. Are you going to be shooting from awkward positions, or do you plan to be able to rest and take your time and fire your shots? You're going to have to shoot from kneeling, standing, improvised sitting, what have you, or are you going to be laying on a hillside? If you're going out west and you're going to spend an afternoon or a long morning whacking prairie dogs and ground squirrels and what have you, yeah, get a high-powered scope because you're going to lay there and time is on your side. You're not going to get up. You're not going to have to move. It's golden. But if you're going to have to walk through fields, if you're going to have to take hasty shots, I learned this from personal experience a long time ago when I went out to shoot groundhogs, and my thought was that I was going to spend most of my time laying on a hillside, waiting for groundhogs to appear. That was my original thought process. That's what's going to happen. But what I found as time progressed was that I spent a lot more time slowly stalking around the edges of fields and cutting through woods from one field to another than I actually did laying down looking over a field. So, my first thought was, well, I need a heavy rifle with a high-powered scope. Then I'm walking around and I'm trying to take hasty shots from standing or hasty shots from kneeling, and I found that the heavy rifle and the high magnification were hindering my efforts. And so I changed. I started using red dot scopes, and I started using lower power scopes. And matter of fact, I started taking the really good high quality Harris bipod that was on the front of my gun. I started taking it off and putting it in my pack because most of the time I didn't need it. Wasn't all the time, but most of the time I didn't. And it put about around an extra pound on the front of my gun. So I changed things. So before you go online and start shopping around, ask yourself, maybe it's a home defense gun. The farthest I ever anticipate shooting is a bad guy at 25 yards. Well, if you're going to shoot a bad guy at 25 yards with your AR-15 or 50 yards or whatever, you don't need a variable power, 4.5 by 15 scope or what have you. You don't need it. You maybe just a red dot, or an ACOG or something. Or do you even need that? Maybe you won't want to. Now, I recommend the red dot sights, and I like them a lot. But ask yourself, before you bought the rifle, you like the rifle, you're like, hey, I'm golden. I love this thing. It's great. Before you drop another $200, $300, $500 or whatever on a scope, have a conversation with yourself and say, what do I anticipate actually doing with this gun? And then make your purchase on that answer. So there you go. And I mean, obviously, thank you to Brownells for making this segment available, for giving me the opportunity to say these words into this black carbon steel microphone. Over on the outside of the glass is Jared. Jared, what have you got for the kids at home?
I've actually got an audio clip, actually 2 audio clips from Dave Spalding, our good friend Phil Paxman, who is actually a grad program member as well. He just got home from a 2-day advanced combative pistol course with Dave Spalding, and apparently Dave decided to do some public service announcements for him. So here's the first one.
I'm Dave Spalding from Handgun Combatives, and I'm a student of the gun.
Yep, Dave is a student of the gun. As you guys know, if you're a grad program member, you got the interview with Dad and Dave Spalding. He's one of the celebrity interviews. So now, here's the second one. You ready?
I'm Dave Spalding from Handgun Combatives, and Paul Markle sucks.
You can always count on your friends, can't you? Yeah. You can always count on your friends, yes. And if you are now, grad program members have immediate access to the Dave Spalding interview, right?
I can't remember if he was the first one.
It's Spalding and Wilson and Ayub.
Yeah, there was 4. I think Ayub was the first one. No, Yeager was the first one, then Ayub.
Then
Spalding is number 4.
Yeah, Bill Wilson and then Dave Spalding.
Yeah.
But either way.
Yeah, 4 weeks into it, you'll get the Dave Spalding interview.
There you go. So
during your free trial.
During your free trial, that's right. You can check out the interview with our friend Dave Spalding from Handgun Combatives. Well, thank you, Dave, for that wonderful endorsement of Student of the Gun and your friend Paul Markle. All right, kids, that is it. Stick a fork in me because I am done. DUNN. Done. Remember, you're a beginner once, but you should indeed be a student for life. And do yourself a favor, do us a favor, do the world a favor, and share this with at least one person that you know needs to hear it. And we will be back tomorrow. Will we be back tomorrow, Jared?
Yeah, we will be back tomorrow.
Is that true?
Yeah, and I just wanted to let you guys that actually want the Patriot Fire Team manual, after these 2 book study program things that we just did, I'm sure some of you want it, go to patriotfireteam.com. And you can actually watch one of the videos there, and you can also get the book. So, patriotfireteam.com.